special episode of This Week with the Roses. I'm Kevin. This here is my buddy Richard of Karma fame, the story where he said the fateful words, "My day can't get any worse."
Yeah, and let's not forget the fact that you know uh, that you may say that there's karma involved. I'm saying the fact that you unapologetically punched me in the face and blamed it on karma. You alleviated your guilt on some supernatural entity thing. So that's good. Good job. Good job.
How did the plastic bag end up right there at your face? I didn't put it there. Some force, and you can call it the wind if you want, but some force picked up this bag that was perfectly okay in the back seat for an hour, put it right there in your face the exact second you said the faithful words. I can't see that as anything other than karma.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you know that at that particular point in time, I couldn't see much of anything because there was a fist in my face.
Well, I didn't mean to hit you. I mean, you didn't die, so it'd be all right. Your day just got a little worse. You just, a little bruising, a little, what's the worst that happened? You've abandoned me to the cops 3 times. So I think there's
just because you don't understand the potential dangers of being within proximity of law enforcement is not my fault.
Because you hung out with me because I was fat and couldn't run. That's all that was.
Well, the old adage, I don't have to be the fastest. I just need to outrun you.
Yeah, true that. So anyway, today we're going to be getting into the merits of the Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas, which is currently streaming on Amazon Prime if you have that. It has a 8.1 out of 10 rating on IMDb with a 48-minute runtime. You seem to like it. I seem to see it as the most depressing bit of TV of all time, let alone Christmas. I mean, it's fight the urge to put a gun in your mouth, depressing.
Okay. All right. Now, of all time, because, I'm pretty sure that the horse, Artax in Neverending Story has been very traumatic for hundreds of thousands of people, and yet I cannot regale one person having watched Emmett Otters in their youth and talking about that causing trauma.
I'm not saying trauma. I said depression. Because if you're going to talk trauma, then you got to go to Prime dying in Transformers. I mean, goddamn, when's the last time you saw, especially in the 80s, where the main hero character dies at the beginning of the movie? I mean, that messed me up as a kid, man. Watching Prime, you said, "Oh, what happened to Prime? No, Prime's got to get, oh shit, he's lost all of his color." It's messed up.
I think by then I was already hardened because I watched Neverending Story, and after that, it's good. We're good to go, right? Horses die, robots die.
Everything dies.
Everybody dies, right? So, all right, fine, but depression is a form of trauma. So we got to go ahead and link the two, right? So when you say depression, I'm going with trauma, right? But you say it's depressing, and I got to tell you. Well, let's first go with a little bit of background, right? It just so happens that I have a first edition copy of the Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas
bringing props.
Children's story that this was given to me by Josh Frederick. And anyways, it's a very lovely story with some pictures and it's, it's not quite Dr. Seuss. You've got some good beginner reading, right? Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to let you know and let your viewers know that it started out as a children's story. And if you were to examine children's stories in general, most of them are deeply depressing stories, right? Like the most horrible, horrific things happen. Let's take a look at Cinderella, House Slave, the Hansel and Gretel kids. Do I really need to go into that one? Even the Grinch has got some problems there. Cindy Lou did not have a very good Christmas evening, right?
Oh, No, 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 no.
She met a monster in her house. Okay, so that's
Yeah, but what happens? He tells the lie, which if anybody's going to appreciate that.
whoa.
Okay, that's not right. I apologize. That's not right. But he gets away with telling her, "Oh, I'm Santa Claus. I'm going to take your tree up and get it fixed and bring it right back. You go ahead and here's some water. Go back to bed." And he finishes his deed. She wakes up. Everybody's still loving Christmas. That's why his heart grew 2 sizes too big, and he came back with all the shit.
I'm pretty
So
sure a doctor would say that that is not healthy.
it's not depressing though. It's a good story. You have a happy ending. You have,
Okay,
you know,
and all of these other stories, including Emmett Otter's, has a happy ending.
no, no.
All right, now
All right.
hold on. Before you
Spoiler
even go
alert.
there,
Spoiler
before you
alert.
go there,
for
hold
Emmett
on.
Otter.
Before you go there, right? Um, I wanted to go ahead and also make sure that everybody understands that this is a Jim Henson production. All right.
Early Jim
And
Henson.
the fact that it's a Jim Henson production really scrapes out a lot of the trauma or depression. And we can see this in a lot of his works. Even when he was on Saturday Night Live in the beginning of that show doing adult themed stuff, nobody could take it seriously because all they could see was Cookie Monster, right? Because it just takes out the realism of the emotions. I mean, if you look at
He puts out
the Jim
depression
Henson's
pills so
Muppets,
that
hold
he
on,
can get away
hold
from
on.
that.
Well, I believe the monsters on the Saturday Night Live, I believe they had a food problem every now and again. If that's not depressing, I don't know what is, but yet nobody seemed to care. The Muppets Take Manhattan, all of the Muppets were homeless in New York City, and nobody seemed to care that that was depressing. No, because the Muppets and Jim Henson, it just takes whatever
Yeah.
horrific thing you're experiencing and it turns it into
And
something
you know
much more
why they get a
digestible.
pass? They get a pass because it was meant for adults to see Muppets struggling with real life. But Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
You have to be a
isn't
cold-hearted person to want to see a Muppet struggle. Okay.
You
Like,
do want to see a Muppet struggle. What do you think Oscar the Grouch is? He's a homeless Grouch who lives in a trash can.
who is
Of course
treated
we want to
horribly
see
by
him
all the
struggle.
other Muppets.
Oh my God. We're sitting there arguing over the same thing. Jim Henson's all about showing struggle with these Muppets. You like these Muppets. You wish they weren't struggling, but fucking Oscar the Grouch is still living in a goddamn trash can. And Otter, the first 10 minutes of the thing is explaining just how poor and suck life is in their little holler. As a matter of
Look, it
fact,
just goes to show that the housing, the whole housing market hasn't changed much since the 70s.
no, probably not. So there's that. But spoiler alert, we're going to go over the quick overview of the thing. First 10 minutes, they're just explaining just how freaking dirt poor they are. The mom's, what's she doing? She's like doing laundry for people, and he's
Yep,
doing
she does laundry
jobs.
for people.
Right, and he's doing odd jobs that he's supposed to get paid for, but most of the time he's fixing shit. He's broke, so he's
Well, that's his own fault, right?
yeah. So they're
Or his friend, right? The porcupine.
yeah. So they're all dirt poor. Everybody in the town's dirt poor. They can't hardly afford to pay them when they do these works.
No, everyone can. They just decide not to.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
they're all horrible people that live in this town.
what is it? The fox, the mayor's wife was like, "Oh, look, you're like 2 minutes late. I guess I'm gonna pay you half of what I owe you, or something like that."
Yeah.
So yeah, all right.
This is Deagle from the Gremlins. So after they have established how poor they are, it's Christmas time, so they've got to. Emmett's got to get a Christmas gift for his mom, and so they sing a song. We go back to how poor they are. They sing a song about how shitty life is. It's so shitty that the only good thing in life is the fact that there's no hole in the wash tub.
Hey,
So
by the way, it's great music. The show itself has got some great music.
I'll give you that. There's music in this is great. No, really. And we'll get into that in a little bit as well. And you know where I'm going with that. So they sing a song about how shitty life is, but at least there's no hole in the wash tub, which is the title of the song. Ain't no hole in the wash tub.
Now, I will say this. They're singing this while in a boat on a river. One would think that they should be singing that at least there ain't no hole in the boat. But, let's go ahead and go with the hot tub or the wash tub.
Yeah. So after they've established this, then they establish that it's Christmas time. Emmett wants to get something for his mom, and the bar, not a restaurant, the bar has a talent contest or talent show, and the winner gets money or something. I can't remember what it was. It's money, and Emmett says, "Well, I can win that."
Yeah, $50.
Yeah, $50. I can win that if you guys help me. So him and his two buddies say, "Well, we got to do a band, but if we're going to do a band, we need a wash tub bass."
Hold up. I'll have you know that it's the buddies that came to him saying, "Hey, there's the talent contest. We want you to be in our jug band so that we could win this prize."
Mhm.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." They're like, "Yeah, but you got to do the wash tub bass or whatever it is." And then, of course, that's when he's got to make that fateful decision to put the hole in the wash tub. But it wasn't his idea. You're making him sound like a piece of crap, okay? He's not.
He's a piece of shit. He still made the decision. Here's the one thing that our family relies on for sustenance and what do you call it, income. And I'm just going to poke holes in it to make it so that it's not very useful. And I'm going to do my best to win this contest.
What did the mom do?
What did the mom do? The mom takes, and she's thinking the same sort of thing. I can win money at this contest. She takes his tools, sells them to, I think, to buy a dress so that she looks good or whatever for the
Well,
contest.
to buy the material to make the dress. See, she's still making the dress, right? She's just going for the material here.
Yeah. So she sells his tools, which is the only thing he does that brings in what little income he brings in, because he's
at least they're not buying drugs.
They're not buying drugs. Well, Jim Henson is not quite there for a kids show at Christmas. Not going to make them drug addicts yet. He just saves that for Bert and Ernie for Sesame Street. Oh, anyway, so they both did this grateful thing to each other, and they go to the contest. They realize what they did for each other. They're all happy. Great, awesome. Got to go back towards the beginning of the show. After they've established how poor they are, the town gets raided by this bully, like gang of bullies that just terrorize, and then they just leave. They just up and leave. So that was their part in it, and they were like, that was it. They came in, showed up, were dicks, and then they left. They go to the bar. They have the contest. The mother sings a beautiful song. I freely admit the music in this thing is.
And how was that dressed?
Yeah, it was nice. Top tier Jim Henson stuff. The music is top tier Jim Henson. And the jug band, great stuff. And you're like, all right, they're definitely going to win this thing. One of them's going to win. Doesn't matter which one. Everybody's walking out on top. Now this is where it comes from being like they're just poor. They're more poor. They're in a no hope situation, but now they got a little bit of hope. One of them's going to win. They're going to be all right. No, the fucking band shows back up, the biker band or the gang, and no lie, lays out probably the best Jim Henson number ever. Like, bar none, there's not a better Jim Henson music number in any movie, Sesame Street, Saturday Night Live, whatever you want to look at Jim Henson. There's never been a better number.
It was a heavy metal song, basically. A Jim Henson heavy metal song.
It had lights, it had movement, it had stunts, it had a good beat. I mean, it was crazy how good this bit was. And of course, they just win and walk out. They just win and walk out. That's all they were there to do, was to show up and shit all over everybody and leave. And that was it. That was the end of the movie.
It was not the end of the movie, but okay.
Give him the bullshit. All right.
So, so far you've been talking about the depressing points of this story, right? Which is, we earlier put forth the idea that all children's stories are depressing. They have these horrifically depressing existence, stomping, things that even adults can't deal with, type of elements in these stories, right? And so with these children's stories, the whole idea is that they rise above the situation and things turn out generally for the better. And the same thing happens here, So let's go ahead and let's talk about some things. Number one, they do have some capitalistic issues here, right? Because they know they're uh, dirt poor, right?
Right.
You know this, they know this, Jim
Well
Henson knows
established.
this, everybody knows this, and yet there he is, the boy Emmett, in front of a shop looking at this amazing mother of pearl guitar. Is like, that's what I want for Christmas. Wait, you're poor, you know this. What makes you think that that's what you should be asking for
Well, it
Christmas?
was like $40 or something, right? It's like
Yeah,
$40.
it's like 40 or $50 or something like that. It was conveniently the right price for the prize, right?
Mhm.
And I don't remember if the mother requested it or not. I don't think she did. I think this goes back to the kid again and his unrealistic expectations, where he's all like, if I won that, I can get mom a piano that she hawked last season or something like that, a down payment on a new piano. How about replacing the watch tub? But
Yeah.
no, never mind all that, right? So there's all of that. But Paul, before he passed, which there's always a death in the family, right?
Yeah.
With these stories, there's always a death in the family, so you can't
It's
even
well
count that.
established by Disney and everything. Disney hates parents, I think.
Yeah, don't ever be in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Uh, but he has that ice slide, and that ice slide is great fun for them. And if you watch this movie with a certain level of uh, adult responsibility, it can be a lot of fun for you too. But so they
We'll get
find
into
enjoyment
that
in
when
what
we're
they
done
have.
with the
What's
debate.
that?
We'll talk about your little
Uh,
twist on
uh,
this.
so they have great fun with this thing that they already have. All right. So already right there is some of that a ray of sunshine in what you say is just a big shroud of darkness.
Okay.
To which I say is only there because it's a children's story, and that's what children's stories have. But the thing that you're missing is through all of that, like, holy crap, I'm poor. Holy crap, we used to be able to at least feed ourselves once or twice a week. We've gotten rid of the things that would allow us to feed ourselves, and lost it all. Like they went to Vegas and bet on black or something like that, right?
Which is what they
Because
did. That's
right,
exactly what they did.
and
And
it's
they
not
had
even
hope. The thing of it is, they were fed hope. They laid out a good little number, and they had hope one of us is going to win.
so. After they're walking home and they're feeling slightly depressed, mind you. Um, so, uh, they're sitting there and they just kind of break out into song, because I know that that's what really depress people too. So you know that they're not fully depressed. They're not in the horrific, got to go into a 72-hour psych watch ward kind of depression, right? Because they break out into song. And that's when the best thing happens. See, winning the contest would have been nice, but that's not what they really needed. What they needed was jobs. And so at the end of the flick, the guy who owns the bar, right? Because you say it's a bar, not a restaurant, but he goes, "Hey, wait a minute, that's good singing. If y'all had done that in the show, you would have won. But you know what? Why don't you come work for me?" They get jobs. Because even the lady said, "Is the pay regular when we play regular?" And he says, "Sure enough. Who doesn't want a job doing something that they love?" And they got that. In fact, even more so, the porcupine got all of the mashed potatoes he could eat. Hello, that's a happy ending.
So your happy ending is basically they end up like what's his name? Not Marley. Bob Cratchit at the beginning of A Christmas Carol, where they have a job they have to show up for the day after Christmas, all the earlier.
No, because you don't know, right? These people could be like the Leonard Skinner of Frogtown. All right, they could be the Leonard Skinner, like they're just going to be like rich and famous or whatever. You don't know. They could
You
be
know
the
what's gonna happen?
Beatles of the Jim Henson world, and they just got discovered.
Have you ever seen them again in the Jim Henson world? You know why? Because the fucking bar burned down. I bet you.
See now
The
you're
bar
just all right. See now you're just trying to reap havoc on these poor sock puppets. Okay, let the sock puppets be happy.
Have they ever shown up anywhere else in Jim Henson?
What about the Tale of the Bunny Picnic? Those guys don't show up either.
Well, maybe some.
Not every Jim Henson thing shows up again, right? And then, for every time that he makes a new Muppet, another Muppet's got to go out to pasture. And that doesn't make them bad, right?
Yeah.
It just means that they're unrelatable. And it could be that the Emmett Otter, the otters are unrelatable because nobody likes to think about being poor. And nobody likes to think about, having a job. I don't know.
But that's your selling point. Your selling point is that the reason that this isn't the most depressing thing ever isn't that they won, isn't that they had a great Christmas because of that. No, your selling point is that the next day after Christmas, they get to go to work.
Hold on.
But it's a Christmas movie, dude. They've turned into Bob Cratchit.
No. They're in the entertainment business. All right. The fact that they've got a gig means that they get a paycheck. And I don't know about you, but I like getting paychecks.
Yes, it's nice. They get to be a house.
And I even like mashed potatoes, especially with some gravy, extra butter. Good stuff.
They get to be the house band at a bar in the poorest area.
But they're not going to be a house band for long, right? And here's why you know that they're not going to be a house band for long. So back to the talent show itself, right? They've been rehearsing this particular song for like days, if not hours, right? Time goes a little wonky in these short shows, right? So who knows how long they've been practicing, but they've been practicing. In fact, they were practicing when the street gang shows up and harasses them, right? So they get to the show and they're ready to go on, and like the second guy that goes on is singing the song that they practiced. And they say, whoa, we can't do that. They're just going to think that we're copying him. They go out in the back alley and get a whole new song, and they go out and they rock that song. So that's talent. That is talent. So they're not going to be an opening band for very long. Too much talent.
We've never seen them again. We've never seen them again. Not the mom, not Emmett. Probably because after the first day of work, he probably broke something and they got fired. It's probably how that went down.
Oh my goodness, dude! It's not that depressing comparatively to other things, and it's certainly not the most depressing.
Well, I tell you, I think the reason you love it is because of the game that you came up with, and I'll let you explain that.
Well, I'll tell you, this is why I love it into adulthood. All right, but even before that, I got to ask you a question. How old were you when you first saw Emmett Otter?
Out of your house. I saw the first time I saw it was at your house.
So you didn't get to see it through the lens of a child.
Okay.
You saw it through the lens of an already broken down society weighing heavily upon you, halfway to depression anyways, adult. See, so that was the only lens that you could watch it through. Right?
That was the canon days, so yeah, you're probably right.
There was no love. There was no hope. That had already been taken care of. So you were seeing it from a perspective where you can only look at its negativity, right? See, I saw it as a child. In fact, whenever I saw it, I would stop what I was doing whenever I found it to be on, because again, back in the before times, in the years with 19, we didn't get to watch things on demand, right? We just had to wait for some guy who got paid a crap more money than your parents did to decide when it's okay for you to see this. And they hit a little button and boom. And then that also had to in line with the idea that you had to know that some guy decided to go ahead and program it on that time on that channel. Whether it was word of mouth, a commercial, or the TV guide, or the newspaper, right? Because the Saturday newspaper used to have all the TV listings, right? So Tales from the Before, that made it extra special, right? Things now, not so special, right? Because you could be, 3 o'clock in the morning on February something or other going, you know what? I want to watch Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And boom, you get to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of magic.
Lost your audio.
There we go.
So I'm glad you used that argument, because as a side thing, You can never give me any more shit about Something Wicked This Way Comes. Because I saw that when I was a kid and it freaked me out. And then when we went to watch it as an adult, you were giving me shit about it. But you can't give me shit about it anymore. You just gave the perfect argument against that.
No, 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 no. That is not true. And I can easily explain that one. You see, let me go ahead and paint the real picture for the Something Wicked This Way Comes faux pas, disaster. All right. It's guys' night. Okay. The women are somewhere else. Okay. We've been planning this for days. And I know that we've been planning it for days because I had Something Wicked This Way Comes shipped to my house again in the before times from Netflix when they deliver it to you in the mail. So guys' night planned days in advance, right? We go out, we get beer, right? We get comfy clothes, right? We're talking mad shit. We're having a great time. And why? Why did I ask Netflix to send me Something Wicked This Way Comes? Because a grown man tells a bunch of other grown men who love the horror genre to go ahead and watch this movie at guys' night, stating and only stating it is the scariest movie of all time. Which,
I didn't say it was the
by
scariest
the way,
movie of all time. I said it was a scary movie from my childhood.
No, you never said childhood because that would never have happened for guys' night if you'd said childhood. No, 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 no. You said of all time. What happens is we get to the place of the hangout. We crack open our beers. No, this was at Matt's. We were at Vosa's. Yep. We pop in the DVD. We're ready for it to start. And the Disney logo shows up on the screen. You almost had beer thrown at you. We hit stop, took the disc out, and then proceeded to dress you down with what kind of crap is that? And did we watch the movie? No, because it was guys' night. And guys' night, we're not watching a Disney movie, especially when it's supposed to be scary. Maybe I have. Maybe I have.
I'm getting you didn't. So,
well, all I'm saying there is that the two situations were
similar,
different.
I don't see how they're different.
All right. First of all, I said that this was a wonderful Christmas show, and that it was a great Jim Henson production. I also said that I watched it as a child. You did not state that
so far.
Well, you didn't state that you watched the other one as a child. You simply told us it was the scariest thing of all time.
I told you guys repeatedly, this is a thing I watched when I was a kid, scared the shit out of me.
Anyways, the reason that we were watching this, because of the adult way to watch this movie. That's why we were there, right? We weren't there to get a heartwarming Christmas inspirational, right? We weren't there to uplift our spirits, right? It just so happens that it was a great Jim Henson production, right?
Yeah,
and it's so great. It's so great. Well, depending on how much alcohol you drink, because that's where the string game comes in. And I don't think you can play this very well if you get the DVD copy. But if you've got the VHS, you might not be conscious by the end of this, because basically anytime you see a string, you take a drink.
Keep in mind, this was early Jim Henson, so he hadn't quite.
This is 19. I think that. Well, you got the IMDb. It's 1977, is it?
Give me a second. I gotta.
He's got to bring it up again. But I think it's 77. The book was 71.
77.
And back then people were okay with strings, right? Of course, now you show something. So you show something to a kid with it, and it has a string on it. Production's crap. It's crap. Everything's crap. I hate you. That's the. But back then, you were happy to see strings because at least you were getting to watch something that you wanted. It wasn't the news, it wasn't a talk show. It was something that you wanted. So yeah, strings, you were okay with it. But so I brought you there and everybody else there, not just to enjoy this wonderful Jim Henson show, but also to get extremely intoxicated.
Blind
Because
drunk.
when you get to the ice slide, and
Oh yeah.
each character has like 8 strings attached to them going down the slide, that is the hardest 5 minutes to watch. I think after that, you're pretty
Or
good.
just straight drinking for 5 minutes.
Just
Pretty
don't
much
put your
straight
beverage
drinking.
down. Um,
And you better be drinking beer because if you're doing shots for every string you see,
oh, I would never suggest liquor or even wine. No, no, no. You got to do beer or something like that.
you will
Um,
die.
you will certainly be unhappy the next day. Uh, I would actually say that if you died, you really wouldn't care about the next day. So, uh,
Well, the first time we watched it, you were telling me about it, and I said, "All right, well, let's go watch it." And we didn't drink, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the most depressing thing I've ever seen." And you were like, "Try." This is where the argument started. You're like, "No, no, it's a, you know." And I'm like, "No, he's Bob Cratchit now. He's fucking, he's evolved into Bob Cratchit at the beginning of the Scrooge movie,
you
not
know
Bob
what? You know what?
Cratchit
No,
at
no, no,
the end."
no. He's better than Bob Cratchit. He's better than Bob Cratchit because whether he's getting 2 shillings and a halfpenny, which is what Bob Cratchit was being paid for. The one thing is that they also got mashed potatoes. Even if they got the same income, they got mashed potatoes, which was way more than Bob Cratchit ever got out of Scrooge until the end
Slightly
of
more.
that particular one. All right.
Right.
So no, they ended better than Bob Cratchit, but you don't know
But
how
he's still
much
closer to
better they
Bob
ended.
Cratchit at the beginning of Scrooge than at the end of Scrooge. Because at the end of Scrooge, Bob Cratchit's living the good life. He's done got his kid done, not crippled anymore. He's done got a partnership at this counting house. He's got a financial security, you know, a goose that is worth eating.
Well, I'm just saying you don't know how that story ended up. There was never an Emmett Otter 2, right? Um,
Because he burnt the
you
bar
know,
down and they're homeless. So,
I mean, so like when you look at, say, the Muppets Take Manhattan, right, where they spent a majority of the movie homeless. At the end of the movie, they got on Broadway, and you pretty presumably they get homes and whatnot. But you don't know how long that lasted, right? You have to assume that everything went well after that. And you have to do the same thing to Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. And just like anything else that has sort of an ending to the story, you have to assume and hope that nothing bad ever happens to them again, even though that is most likely not
extreme
possible.
likelihood is something bad is going to happen again.
I mean, if you
Because the
watch
gang's
Robot
coming
Chicken,
back sooner or later. They're going to come back to the bar and try to win more money. So
or at least take
we're
their job
headlining
for
tonight.
right.
Your house band can take the night off.
But there was an episode of Robot Chicken, where it's behind the music of the band. I can't think of the name of the band. The one that Animals in with the
Oh,
jazz type people. Uh-huh. Anyways, that band.
yeah.
And in Robot Chicken, like Animal attacks somebody and was court ordered to be put down, and they show him getting the injection, getting put down, and they talk about the different people and their drugs and everything like that. So, yeah, if you want to continue down the path of what's likely going to happen, all that was most likely going to happen, right? So you just gotta go with the idea that they get a better gig, they get more popular, they become the Beatles or the Led Zeppelin of the Jim Henson world, and they probably like Pink Floyd and have retired into whatever. See, there it is, right? The point is that they didn't go back to doing laundry and odd jobs. Now, if you want to go dark, they all suffer from mashed potato addiction, and they have to go to rehab to get off the carbs.
There you go. If they can't float anymore, you're an otter that can't float. That's a horrible fate.
I'm pretty sure the mashed potatoes made them float better.
Christmas baby.
What was it? What was the joke? What was Whitney Houston's last greatest hit?
That was bad.
That
All
is a
right,
bad
well,
joke.
we will let the audience decide. Leave us a comment and let us know which side of the fence you're falling on. I'm sure I'm going to get trounced here because enough people that in our group always defend Emmett Otter, but it's such a depressing Yeah,
It is not the depressing thing. If you hit stop right after after they lost before they broke out in song. So they're walking home in the dark on the ice before they broke out in song, and you hit stop, then yes, that's going to be the most depressing ever. But when you let it go to its ultimate conclusion,
well, they
right?
got to go to
Just
work the next day.
well,
We're all
yeah.
depressed. It's a shit night tonight, Mom. But don't worry, we'll wake up tomorrow and go to work, and it'll be all right.
It's not it's not that bad.
Really, really, it's not
I
that
mean, what did Hansel and Gretel get to do? They got to go back to their shitty parents' house. They escaped the witch to go back to the parents who tried to get rid of them in the first place. All right.
bad. God damn it. We paid that woman real money.
All right, man. Well, hey, have a wonderful holiday. Enjoy your time off if you get any. I know Kelly is enjoying it.
Yeah, she is.
So it's a well needed and deserved break, no matter what you think of teachers, because there are a lot of people out there who do not think highly of teachers.
That's
But
a mistake, because you guys do a great service for society. So I used to help people get porn for a living, and now I just take a beating for a company. You guys are actually shaping the minds of the future generations. So
yeah, yeah. I just hope that when I'm old and decrepit and in the nursing home, that
tomorrow,
these
right?
minds of the future know which end to wipe.
Well, at least you got your own kids that will presumably wipe your ass, maybe.
I really wouldn't want them to have to do that. I would think I'd have to pay somebody else to do that, right?
I
That's a
think
little
that's going
too
to be
personal and close.
your dinner topic tonight. As a kid, 10 years from now or so, I'm shitting myself. You're going to wipe my ass, or what are you going to do?
I'm pretty sure that dinner talk, we never discuss bodily functions. Yeah. So no. But hey, man, thanks for having me. It's a wonderful debate as always, even though you're horrifically wrong. And you basically you are attaching the blackness in your heart to a wonderful Jim Henson story. And it's okay. I understand. You're damaged goods. We're all damaged. You're just a really special kind of damaged. And that's great. And that's why we love you.
Well, I love you too, buddy. All right, everybody. That's our debate. And thanks for showing up. Everybody have a happy holiday and stay safe. If you do watch The Otter, it's on Amazon Prime. I'm not sure if the string thing's going to work out. I haven't watched it on there to pay attention for strings. But yeah, there it is. Bye, everybody.
So it's a 1978 Jim Henson holiday special that originally aired in Canada, and it's a retelling of the classic O. Henry short story, The Gift of Magi, but using impoverished Appalachian otters. And they try to save Christmas by starting a jug band, but they lose the battle of the bands to this kind of glam rock, hard rock Muppet band called the River Bottom Nightmare Band. So it's tragic, but the thing is, the River Bottom Nightmare Band, they were so good. You can't argue with that. I mean, they brought it to their live show. They brought it.